Okay, we've got Maximilian's Camaro build over in my shop now, and we're getting ready to start the painting process, which is, for this particular car, sounds really complicated. There's a sealer coat which we're doing with this it's a special primer which is like $500 a gallon, but if you mix 2 parts of this and 2 parts of that and 1 part of this into it, it makes one of the best sealer coats that you can get, apparently. So I guess they're doing the sealer coat in that, and then they're going to do I don't know if that is also the base coat, but they're going to do another base coat in just red, all in the door jambs and everything. I'm not sure if we're doing a whole car in the base coat red, and the reason for doing that is because we're using a kind of the flip-flop Randy Apple red, which I talked about earlier, and that stuff, I'm not even going to tell you how expensive that was. It's just ridiculous, but supposedly just an amazing paint and color. It is a BPG I think Deltron color. Well, it started as that, and then this custom shop in Texas mixes their colors in with it and pearls and stuff to get this Randy Apple red custom color, which Maximilian wanted. Anyway, so we're going to get it started today, and I'll follow along, and hopefully it's going to be fantastic. So they're doing the sealer coat. Denny's finishing masking the main car, and they're hoping to get everything in sealer coat pretty soon, and then Denny's probably going to paint the entire car with a Victory red, basically as a base coat for the candy, or whatever the Randy Apple red is. So what they're definitely going to get done this evening is they're going to turn over the hood, the trunk lid and the nose cone, and do the center in white, because they're going to do the traditional white stripes on the hood and the deck lid. So that looked nice. Don't put it on too thick. So I don't think a lot of people realise how critical the masking is, but as with a lot of the parts of doing a car, masking can make or break a paint job as well. And yeah, I am not that good at masking, and I hate doing it. And I always have thought I've done a pretty decent job until I've seen how Denny does it, and then I realise that I haven't been doing a very decent job. So with Denny's experience, you can see in every aspect of this build, right down to the masking, how he masks like that on the floor so that you don't get any dust, you know, bouncing off the floor and coming up into the paint job. It just eliminates a lot of other possibilities of contamination in the paint. Anyway, he's doing a beautiful paint, beautiful masking job, and it just complements everything else he's done on the car. And yeah, it's not very often I'm impressed when I see other people work, I always think, man, I do that better. But in this case, every time I look at things, I'm like, man, Denny does it better than I do. Anyway, it's coming along really good. Maximilian's over there, base coating everything. And then we're going to spray the white on the hood, the deck lid, and the places where the white stripe's going to go. And we don't actually have to mask that doing it that way. You just spray the white in the areas that you're going to stripe it, and then you'll actually end up just masking off the white and spray your red base before the candy. And Bob's your uncle, as they say. It will turn out quite nice, and makes it a lot easier. Now, one of the reasons Maximilian's painting is, well, he's painted a lot of our cars, and he does a real nice job. And but obviously he's not half as experienced as Denny is. But you know, because it's his car, and he's put a lot of money into it and time, you know, he wants to have played quite a big part in the end result. And to actually be the one who's painting it. I don't know if he's going to paint the entire car. He might, but you know, he definitely wants to be able to say that he was involved in the paint job. And as a lot of people would, it's just more enjoyable when your car's finished to know that you've you know, had quite a big hand in you know, doing the work. So that's why he's painting this right now, and Denny isn't. But Denny may end up painting, you know, some of the car as well. So they're going gangbusters here. They got the base coat done on everything. They've got the white on the parts they wanted white on. They're just about to start with the red base coat. So they're masking off the white. They've got the white stripe on the hood now. So now they're going to do the base coat on the underside of the hood. And man, they're really cranking it out. Denny says it's the best paint booth he's ever painted in. Probably one of the biggest. No imperfections, no dust, no bugs. Life is good. Painting low pressure, very little overspray. Air staying nice and clear. Just going really nicely. Beautiful job, guys. Like dealing with gold dust, this paint here.
That's a $20 paint stick. I'm gonna put that cup on eBay for about 50 bucks.
How much is this bit of paint? A couple of ounces in there.
That little can was $3,300.
Give him a little swirl.
Yeah, look at that. That's what you get for $3,300.
Better be good on the car. Hey, don't get that stick wet again, Sonny. Dude, that's another 20 bucks there. Man. So Denny, in his wisdom, decided that we should do a base coat of red first, so that we have no problems with coverage of this other paint because it's so expensive. But it turned out that the base coat was really expensive as well. You know, this is a Deltron red, which is, I mean, it's obviously not as expensive as this pearl paint, but it was expensive. here we go. The first custom color to see how it turns out. Going on really nice. We don't have much wind speed in this garage, in this paint booth, but we have a big volume of airflow, which keeps the air really clear. Plus Denny's spraying at very low pressure. But just a beautiful shop to paint in, even though it's not a true paint booth. You know, it has everything we need. Anyway, that colour looks like it's coming along really nicely. You're never going to see the full effect until you've got the clear on it. But this will definitely give us a good idea of what it's like.
You really never see the full effect as it's underneath the hood.
Yeah.
That's as much as I put on there.
Yeah, I agree.
Use the rest of jam. Said, you ain't gonna get any more pop out of that. I was just saying that. That's $100.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful colour. Comes across quite nice on the video. You know, obviously you're not going to get that look until the clear coat's on, but yeah, it's an awesome colour. Did good, Sonny. You like that colour, Sonny? Good?
I think it still needs a few more layers to get that really nice candy pop, but it's looking nice.
Yeah, I don't think we should put too much on the underside of the hood though.
Does it cover where it in there? You can't even tell I shot anything in there.
No, definitely need more to the left side. Right side.
Let's use that with a mini gun with some black. Just throwing rubies away.
Yeah.
We're tossing rubies into the trash. You get a little mini gun and shoot some black on.
So one of the reasons we decided to go with a red base, which Denny calls a junk coat, even though the red base is a PPG Veltron base, which is also very expensive, was because we didn't know how translucent the pearl paint would be, and with how expensive it is, we didn't want to have problems of coverage. I remember we sprayed an orange car and we gave that sucker like 6 coats and it still was being translucent. Anyway, we just did a light coat on this dark grey and the coverage was actually awesome. So maybe that's partly why the paint is so expensive. It's a red, but it isn't very transparent. So it looks like we're going to have plenty of paint because you know, we've got a gallon of the stuff, and by the time it's mixed, you know, it's more. So we're going to be good to go. But yeah, the paint is really good quality, real good coverage paint. But anyway, we're going to stick some clear on this and then see how it comes out. So what do you do with the clear? You put it on kind of light at first, Denny, and then work your way up, or you put it on medium?
Yeah, I usually start out with a tap coat just to see if we got any rat in our fish eyes.
So right now he's just using the air pressure on the gun just to and this is the painter's life. This is just seeing your project come together after a lot of time and money is really rewarding. I mean, look at that. That is what we call the dog's bollocks. That is. Ooh. That's bitching, as Denny would say. How does that make you happy, Sonny Jim?
Oh, great. Money well spent.
I didn't think the underside of the hood was going to be this nice.
And I thought we were going to go through 3 ounces reduced. Almost on the run.
Yeah.
And we probably used maybe an ounce on that.
Wow, that wasn't bad.
And I think we still have at least 4 ounces left.
And I mean, this is just the first coat of clear. And as we know, by the time you get to like your 3rd coat of clear, it makes quite a big difference.
Yeah, and these blades are really heavy because it's the other side of the hood.
Yeah.
And it's flat.
Also, we're kind of using the underside of the hood kind of as guidance for the rest of the car, because all types of paint spray a little bit differently, and so obviously it's kind of best to start on an area which isn't as critical, and you know, it allows you to gauge what you're going to do for the rest of the car. But man, you nailed it with that color. So what's the temperature? We're spraying at about 63 degrees in here, which is is actually quite cool for Florida, and but perfect temperature for painting. We got I think we have a medium reducer. Normally we would use a really fast. Because it's always hot, but what are we doing? A medium reducer or a slow?
Oh, we're using a medium right now.
Yeah, because it's actually not that cold, and it's definitely not that warm. So, man, that's beautiful. You're gonna have a whole car.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. What's the flash time on this?
Oh, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I put accelerator in, so you'll flash probably like 2 minutes.
Oh, really? Now, why did you do the accelerator? Because it's a bit cold, yeah.
That's my bedtime. That's a badass color there for that, man. I'm so glad.
Dude, that's $1 million color. Yeah.
Yeah. Won't be in a minute. I'm gonna pour this out of it. Get rid of all that dirt.
Yeah, it's often amazed me when I've cleared the car that I'll do my first clear and I'll be a little bit disappointed, like, man, I thought it'd pop a bit more. By the time I'm on that 2nd and 3rd, it's amazing how it comes out even more. I can't believe how shiny this is with that first coat.
I think Denny really leave it in there. Did I do that 6 times? I'll do that 6 times.
Holy crap.
Then you can cut it.
And then we buy 2 gallons clear, and then we reduce that, don't we?
No, 1 to 5.
So we got 3 gallons of clear that
It's not cheap shopping with Denny. I think that just the paint products,
One expenditure mode.
the paint products and the clears.
The paint shop, yeah, so then he wants to spend my money. Or knows how to spend it.
So just the paints and the clears was like $7,000 or something.
Yeah, pretty much, because we've got a couple toners as well.
I mean,
we're doing the strengths and rear tail panel.
It's starting to make Summit $100 a gallon paint look really good. Yeah, we wouldn't normally do this, but for this particular car, we couldn't really not. I mean, we do get decent quality paint, but that's a little bit over the top. So the second coat of clear's going on, and you know, just when you thought it couldn't really get any glossier, it is. It's just amazing. And you'll often find that after spraying clear, you know, especially when you start getting into your final coats, the longer it sits and flows out, the more gloss it gets, which is quite amazing. You'll see a beautiful paint job like this, and you think, man, that's amazing. And then 20 minutes later, it's even glossier. Quite exciting. I've never done this to an underside of a hood before. We were actually considering painting the underside of the hood black, just because the paint was so expensive, and we weren't sure what the coverage would be like. But I guess that plan went out the window, and I'm glad it did. It would have looked nice black, but to have the underside of the hood have, you know, basically the same quality as the rest of it, it is kind of nice. You're getting,
That's even better on that.
but I don't know, sometimes, you know, the effect of the eye, you think, man, that looks good. It doesn't look as good in a video, but I can tell that's going to look really good on the video too. I mean, guys, anybody who's looking at this video, this is what it actually looks like.
No, pull the edge off. So there ain't a hard edge.
Bloody marvelous. So we use this K36 primer, with an additive in it to make it into a sealer coat, which is what you can do. And the reason why we did that was because this primer was $500 a gallon, and it's meant to be like the best of the best. No shrinkage, just incredibly durable. But Denny didn't really like the way it sprayed. So, you know, although it's going to be fine, you know, it doesn't sand great, like to get little nibs out and stuff. And it just doesn't lay on as nice as a lot of other products that we've used. And so it just makes it a little bit more work. But obviously the quality of the product is great. So I don't know if we would advise doing it that way. You're better off using your preferred sealer, which you like how it sands and stuff. Because this could just add a little bit more layers of finessing for you before the base coat. So what we're going to do in the next half hour or so, we're going to base coat this car in a Deltron PPG red, and then if there's any tiny imperfections, we'll deal with that, respray those little bits with a bit more red, and then we're going to go with our Randy Apple red candy style paint on top of that, which you saw earlier on the inside of the hood lid. Anyway, it's coming along real nice, and the finish is really good, but it just would have been better, you know, on the little bits we just had to scuff slightly, you know, if we had a tiny little couple of tiny little fish eyes. But yeah, detail it at every stage so that when you finally put your base coat, clear coat on, the job is awesome. So we had a couple of tiny little pinholes here.
The dreaded pinhole.
A dreaded pinhole.
Everybody hates them. Some people try to paint over them.
Yeah.
And fill them with, dab them with base and dab them with clear, and then they suck down.
Right.
Some people try to fill them with Combi Putty, which is a 1K product, so it shrinks. You end up with a pinhole. And then if you take catalyzed fine putty and put it in there, you start to sand through the sealer to get it nice and filled and flush. You end up putting a low spot in the car, so it's very tedious.
Yeah, it's quite a finite type thing. You just have to know exactly when to stop, and yeah.
It's an 800. That makes it a little easier. 400 would be way crazy. You dig it out with 400 for sure.
Yeah. So because we're putting on what Denny calls a junk coat, even though it's an expensive coat, that will actually help us a lot, because if anything shows up on that, that's going to be quite easy to finesse any micro, you know, little bit of dust or a insect or anything. Although we don't seem to have any problems with dust or insects, but you know, you can always get a bit of dust or an insect or a pinhole or something. Anyway, so it gives us another layer of surface to detail before the final candy goes on. But yeah, we're hoping the finished product is going to be one of the nicest second-gen Camaros, you know, that there is. There's some beautiful ones out there, but this is going to be up there with them. Obviously, one of the secrets of doing a great paint job, you know, there's always a lot of variables which, you know, you try to control as best you can. You know, there's weather, humidity, temperature, bugs, dust, air quality, quality of the products you're using, you know. Yeah, did you just eat some finger licking chicken before you started working on the car? Yeah, or did your wife spray some cleaner somewhere close by? Anyway, there's a tremendous amount of variables And obviously the secret is to control as many of the variables as you can to get a nice paint job. And so I think we do a pretty good job of limiting the variables. Oh my God. I got all my nice cars parked over in Maximilian's garage, and he says there's little boys walking around there with tools. Last time I left my cars over there, he drove his Bobcat into one of them. Yeah, he had this huge trencher. He disconnected the hydraulic line. It smacked the fender of my 57 Chevy.